Let's go to the design room. We need to go up here and change this. This is the next thing. If I can hotkey this, I'll be a really happy guy. This part here. Going to have Thor give you a rundown. No, we don't have time. Unfortunately, we're moving pretty quickly on this, and it's not. There's some really good tutorials out there, and I can just do those. You know, some of them I might even do online. We'll see how it goes because I need to. Let me pull this up here. Now we have this up here, and I can see it. Ads should be finished now. We are back. Yep. The ad thing, I'm sorry, the ad thing is pretty cool to me. It's just automatic now. Well, we're in ads. No, I have not looked at your, I answered that already. I'm going to have Thor. Thor and I had a really nice talk last night. I really love my kid. Both Thor and his brother called me yesterday. And we had a really good talk all the way around. It was a lot of fun. I love those two. They're awesome kids. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There were moments when it's like, oh my God, I want to kill them both. But it's not so much that anymore. They're actually really good guys. You know, Thor and Loki both. I really love my kids. You're just going to have to deal with it. Oh, there. Okay. Thor, an amazing guy like you. I'm sure Loki is too. Yes, Loki's pretty cool dude too. They both call. Yeah, they call all the time. We talk all the time. Not all the time, but we talk a couple times a month. I mean, they have their lives, and it's fine. You don't have to pay attention to me 24 hours a day. You must bow to me constantly. Okay, we need our notes up. Doop. Where are we on the notes? Okay. We have covered a lot of things. Some good, some bad. Let's see, we have some notes here we need to pull up too. Game notes. Okay, so we have come back over here now. For here, we have our abilities and wisdom. So here's the advice they give, here's the skills they give you, here's the wisdom they give you, and the sample dialogues from each of them. This is for all of our ancestors in the crypt. So we have all of that. Let me go over to the notes over here, see what's next on my list of things to add in. Town folks. So we started added things at the end there of things that you can do for the town folks. Right now, we're basically doing first level to second level things, you know, because you're building up, you're getting to know people, stuff like that, you know. And then there's going to be, we need to add, so these are the things like, okay, we're going to get goodie points for doing these things, you know. But we also need to add some not so good points. So what are things we can do that are just basically going to piss people off, you know? Because we're doing the back and forth of good, bad, and injustice. So we need to actually think about what those are for our balancing act here. We have a whole bunch of positive point things already laid out. Neutrals are fine because it's a pull. Neutrals are basically a pull between positive and the negatives. So we'll have to come up with some of those to put in. So we're going to do those on the fly. Can you go postal? Okay, what do we got here? I have a great dad knock joke, but can you help me? You have to start. No. Okay, let's go down this path with this episode real quick. Knock. Okay, there you go. Thor's amazing, blah, blah, blah. The end of your life. Can you go postal and just straight piss on people? No. Maybe breaking something. Yeah, I was thinking about that with the bartender, which is the one I was just playing with here, is we could break glasses. So we can say, let's put it here. And they just don't have a straight red, do they? Use that. Go break things. Let's see. Have you, True North asks, have you thought about uploading this as a series on YouTube? There, it is on YouTube. Everything does go on YouTube, but as a series, no, I haven't, because, in all honesty, we didn't know we were going to do this till Monday. This is what we've done since Monday. It was a last minute thing. So, but it is on YouTube. If you go to Your Joy on YouTube, everything we do is up there. If you just look from, I think the original thing that we did was Thursday last week, where we just did a quick run through of like creating a town. And then Monday we started actually making it there. Making it. So if you look on YouTube, it's there. I might cut it into pieces maybe and make it a list or something. But I was starting to have, but I just started, don't have all DLC. Have you played Postal? No. Stealing the cups. Yeah, stealing's another one that we can do, but we could use that as a universal bad. So let's do it over here. Let's take our purple Post-its, or these ones. These ones. Take that one, bring it over here. We'll go stealing of any kind. Stealing. Breaking things. Oh, breaking this. Because I broke it. Breaking things will also, let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's go through here. So in the blacksmith, setting things on fire can be another one. Okay, because we can do that in the blacksmith store. Stealing will be covered by all of them. Lying, because we're going to have to work out the storyline for all that kind of stuff. Disgracing the temple. Yeah, we can put stealing in the game. We can do anything. We can put a lot of stuff in there. Because what we're trying to do is give him positive and negative choices for each thing. So like in the case of, say, stoking the fire. So if he's stoking the fire for the blacksmith as a positive thing, then we can have a negative thing of him setting things on fire, you know? Like maybe he's like setting the fire starting stuff on fire, or disrupting stuff in the shop, you know? All those kind of things. You could have a scene where you are in a home in game and have someone knock on the door and you answer it, and it's Jehovah Witnesses, but a bit of comedy. Well, we're going to try to stay away from religions at this point. So we're not going to do Jehovah Witnesses. That would be silly and against my rules about religion. So you can't break this, but you can break that over there. Huh? I might try it. Blocking or obstructing roads or paths. Yeah, because you can make, let's see, do a situation like this is if he's, when we get to the point to where we're at the mines, in fact, we'll have one of these post-its, these bad things to do post-its, we can do them for each section. So for the mines, we can do like blocking of materials. Blocking travel points. Setting fires, which is also part of the other thing. Well, apparent apparition, thank you very much for coming in. You too, Blaze. Thank you for showing up. We're thinking about things that he can do negatively as a level 1 or 2. So we have a list right now of stealing, breaking things, setting things on fire, talking bad about someone, lying, disgracing the temple, attacking the mayor. Let's see, what other things do we have in here? Putting soap in the fountain. I know it's silly, but it makes me laugh. So, ha. I think we're going to have to make this into a true list. Let's grab this. Right down here. It's over here. Bad things to do in town. And no, there are no strippers or whores, so he can't do that. So we're not adding strippers and whores. So you've got a few ways to go about it. You can have things you need for various reasons, yes, which you can get by either helping or hindering someone. You could have multiple ways to complete a quest. Yes, we've already talked about that. A good example was stoking the fire, adding firewood equals good, adding his chairs bad. Yeah, things like that. And as we start to build out what's in these buildings, then we can figure out other things that he can do that are bad. But we also have a situation where doing some bad things leads to a good result, if that makes sense. We have to think about those kind of things too. That would be kind of good. Zug zug. Oh, that's something to think about. Because right now, the way we have it set up and the way this system over here works is the line in here is always moving from left to right. And what it does is based on what you do in the game, good or bad, it pulls that line between these. Let me so if you do enough good things, then it'll be weighted towards the positive, and people in town will treat you in a positive way. You do enough bad things, and people in town will treat you horribly or treat you like a bad person. Is basically the basic idea. No, that's the correct well spelling for fun in this particular situation. But thank you, Mr. Seiko. There is definitely a funness about some of the bad things, but like even like if we take this list, can we color this? No, we can't color this. We talked about this. I wish I could color it. So if we take this list and then we put one together for each thing, because we can say bad things to do in town. We'll take this now and copy it over here. And we'll say bad things to do in the forest. And we can say, okay, stealing, yeah, if you steal, you join the bandits. So if we say join the bandits, join the bandits, that would be a bad thing. Let's see. Come down the trees. Not having animals in the field. Burning down the forest, you know, these kind of things. So we have some bad things that he can do in the forest. Or as our friend says, here are the fun things you can do in the forest. When you're wearing the biggest picture, and going into detail in the day-to-day standpoints of the village, you'll be able to put Easter eggs. Yes, in other, yeah, be able to put Easter eggs or situations where doing something bad to someone can potentially end up saving someone else. Yes. Let's say the butcher wasn't very truthful about what was in his meat, and you end up destroying his supply, which in turn saves the old granny that would have died. Yes, that's exactly it. So there are going to be some bad things that lead to good results, but in the moment before the good result happens, you're going to be getting bad points. So, and then you will get probably twice as many good points. But we'll have to see how, when we start doing game balance, which is a whole nother thing, then we'll discuss those kind of things. Good evening, y'all from Germany. Adu. Welcome, Adu 4. Ads will be coming in 2 minutes. Okay. I do not know who these people are. Okay, whatever. That's funny. It's like you have a toll road bill unpaid. I'm like, I have not been in California in years, so I do not believe I have a toll road bill that is unpaid. Therefore, you are a spam, and I will not be answering you. You can also say stealing fish. Fish. That's this. Okay. Send the number to Kit Buddha. Yeah. I watched some of his shows the other day. I was watching this, and it's actually kind of fun to listen. I think he set a new record for how long he kept a spammer on the phone. It was very funny. Yeah, the total is 350. 350. Sorry, I only know that. No. Oh, that's for someone else. Sorry. Yeah, I can't read German, so I don't know what he just said. Oh, no worries. Well, good evening to you too, sir. And we will, unfortunately, be going to ads here shortly. So we're going to do that. Nice. Very good. So yeah, so we have a list of things there. But I think we also, in the mine, I think we're going to flip it in the mine. Because here's what I mean by that is because the mine is where all the bad guys are, if you do bad things in the mine, technically you're doing good things to prevent the bad guys from doing bad things. Therefore, they're good. Logic puzzles, aren't they fantastic? So disrupting this here where we have this where we're going disrupting or blocking travel, these actually become positives when we're in the mine, but negatives when we're out. Does that make sense? Because we're disrupting the mine. But by the same token, the mine brings money into the town, and that money isn't getting to them if we're disrupting production. So we have a weird one going there, but we will get back to it right after the ad break. We have, we're back. That seemed rather short. Okay, cool though. Okay, so we have a potter, we have a carpenter, a fisherman. Did we put the fisherman over here? No, we did not. Let's grab a pinky. From over here, we need a fisherman. We put a fisherman up over here. He hangs out in the lake. Oh, we need a farmer. We'll put the farmer. Put the farmer right here, and we'll give him a little patch of land. That might be a good idea. Because then we can also, when we're working with the grocer, then we can go to the farmer's area and get fresh vegetables. We're gonna make that. Yeah, we're gonna make it green. Nope, not that green. This green? No, because that's the same green as that green. This green, yes. Okay. So we now have a farmer and a farmhouse and farms. Actually, what we can do is take this and move it over here where the farmer has a bigger plot of land and we can grow more things. Frantic, thank you very much for the 50 bits. 50 cheered bits. That's awesome. So yeah, so now we have a farmer. We have a farmhouse. That's what this will be. These just remind us of things that we'll need to build for it. So we have a farmhouse and barn, and then all this can just be fields. And we can decide what is made in these fields later. But we can do that. Say, make this, yeah. Fields. open fields. Okay, cool. So that gives us an opportunity to do this, is because we can do a thing like if we go to the butcher down here, where's he at? Meat shop, the butcher. We can take him and he can send us over to the farm to get cow and stuff like that, or whatever the meat of the day is. So that could be useful. So that gives us the farmer. We have the trader, we have the farmer, we have the butcher, we have a baker, we have apothecary, we have a blacksmith. So that's that. Those notes are done. That's our positive, negative thing. Blacksmith, tailor, general store, got that. Boarding house, got that. Pub owner, which is the bartender, we'll say, or the owner. We have that. A doctor or nurse, which is, where is their tables, boarding house, pottery, restaurant. Oh, we put a, oh no, we have put it over here. So that's for the mine has its own doctor and nurse. Everybody else went to grandpa over here in the clinic. Mining supply shop, got that. Grocer, got that. And restaurant, we have that. Yeah, we have the restaurant. Okay, let's go back to our original notes. Let's see what we made here. Again, evil uncle owns a coal mine just beyond the village, may be involved in grandfather's disappearance. Okay. Front his uncle and bring his grandfather home. But he knows that he will need to be strong and wise in order to succeed. Goes to his ancestors for help to become wise and I think that we've covered most of the base notes. I mean, we can start talking about some of these abilities. Because, like, if we take, like, the first one here, if we say, okay, he gives him, grandfather gives him the lion's roar, right? He could, yes, use that to fight enemies, but he could also use that to stoke the fire in the blacksmith to extremely hot. Say that blacksmith needs is working with a very special metal that needs their furnace to be twice as hot as normal. So that could be kind of something we can do there. So we could, and we'll think about this later because this literally just came to me. But we can take all of these abilities that he learns from his grandparents, the skills. So we have the lion's roar, we have the turtle shell, which is the protection, the falcon sight, tiger's fury, and we can see if any of them can actually help the townspeople. And we'll probably figure all that out when we start breaking everything down once we start putting things in the game. But we will see how that works. Yep. Because we're also going to have to write dialogue for all of this. For all of these people, we need a positive, a neutral, and a negative dialogue for each person that we have in the town. And obviously their story arcs have to make sense too. Let me move this up. That's our railroad track. You see, unfortunately I accidentally covered the chat, so sorry I wasn't. Dang it, stop. Everybody's gone quiet again. Okay, we were talking. But thank you, Frantic and Heartlink, for the bits. That's very cool of you. I mean, in all honesty, I think we're pretty close to being able to jump in to start building, because we can do that and then start taking everything we need. As we're building out, we'll start building things that he can do, as we're in the world. We have a pretty good yeah, gettable items, logs, potion bottles, all the regular stuff. We'll also say you can get a sword, you can get a shield. If he needs it. I'm sure that there'd be things. Potion bottles. Sorry, I'm going nuts with the manganese. Do you have an idea of how many months, years you're expecting to spend on this game? No, because mostly it's just a teaching tool for you guys to say. I'm just showing how I would do things today in comparison to how we used to do it. But I don't see spending years on this game, in all honesty. We'll get it all in there. We'll get it all set up, and then maybe I'll hand it off to someone, and then just keep a percentage for myself. But but we could build a lot, like I did. I'll show you here. Let me see if I can pull this up. I did break open Game Maker Studio last night and made a little test guy. I did half of one of the tutorials last night. So silly. Let's see. And now Game Maker Studio is not responding. Ah, there it is. Okay, so let's open that. I don't think you guys can see this yet, so let me get a screen. Pull this to that. So I have made a dot, which will be, let me do a window capture here. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. This is good because we need to be able to say whether you guys can see this or not later anyway. So see, I've put together a Game Maker Studio template last night, which I went and did the first tutorial and made this guy here, which is just a dot. He doesn't move yet, doesn't do anything yet. He's just there, But that will be our test player. I just made him a shiny orb. But like I said, I've never done this, so I'm doing a tutorial, and I will do the tutorial and we'll get this thing going. And this is what we're going to start doing on Monday. So, but my way of looking at it is I'm not spending months and years on a game. We're gonna burn through this pretty quickly. We've done the majority of the design here in a week. I know that sounds absolutely horrible and scary to some people, but that's what we did. We have enough here now to actually go and start building it in a engine, and that's going to lead to the more stuff that we're going to do. And what we'll do is we'll just basically build it with the base colors that we have here and go from there. But years and months, no, not going to spend that long on it. We could do a situation where we're fine tuning it forever, But yeah, if we'll probably do a special thing for yearlings to get a copy of it or something that as testers or whatever. But that's cool. But there's a lot of things I want to test because the Game Maker Studio, you can do a lot of things, but I want to make sure that we're doing stuff that works with our game. So, ironically, a week is too long for designs, but overall hours is still under 8 hours. So technically, still within scope. See, and that's the problem is I don't believe that game companies spend enough time on design. I just don't. I think that they're pushed too hard to make money and get the game out there that they don't spend enough. And then they go, we'll fix it after it gets out, and people tell us what's wrong with it. In my opinion, that's what they do, and I don't think that's the right way to look at it. Do you have an idea of how many? Okay, we talked about that. Sorry, I'm going nuts. I don't think I've got to that yet in GT7. What's the greatest idea? Oh, that's a great idea. There's not much content from highly experienced game devs online. There isn't? I would think there would be. I don't understand why. Well, I kind of understand why some people from my era don't come out and talk about stuff or talk about how we did stuff. Because I've had this happen to me a couple times where you go into a studio and you're there and you're blah, 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 been doing it 30, 20 years, blah, 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 all that stuff. And you have people, and I've had this happen twice where people have said this to me, and I just kind of looked at them and went, okay, fine. And they say things like, you only know the old way of doing things. We know the new way of doing things. I go, okay. And then I watch them try doing the new way and fail. At the same time, I'm doing it the old way and succeeding, and going back to them and going, here, it's done. And them still saying, oh no, we're doing it the new way. And watch them fail over and over and over again. It's like, okay, well, I'll be over here moving forward. You guys go ahead and sit and whirl your winds and reinvent the wheel, and I'll be over there rolling the cart out of the barn. So, love to appreciate that you're using. Love the applications you're using for all of this. Very organized. Well, using Miro was kind of an accident in that I literally just opened it up to show someone how to do something last week. And then it's grown into this week, and hopefully it's helping. We have a lot of cool stuff going on, but we'll block it all out. Like even with the with our little dot guy, that's what's going to be our player one when we start building out the everything. Because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on artwork yet. I'm going to spend time putting the game together and then playing through it with dots as artwork or things like that, just simple sprites and things to just find out if it's going to be fun to play first before I spend a hell of a lot of money on art. Have restrictions part of their hire? Yeah, they do. Apparent apparition says most people in game dev have restrictions as part of their hiring docs. I think that puts a chill on community dev content. It does, but there are, like, I talk about a game that I've been designing for years, but I keep stopping designing it when I work for other companies because it is a conflict of interest, and you can't really work on something for yourself even when you're working for another company. It's very much frowned upon, and you don't want to do that. Ado for what he means is what I just said, is the majority of people in game development have restrictions on their contracts that they cannot work on anything else or talk about what they're doing to the general public. As I said, I also have had this situation, and I've had game designs that I've worked on for years, but every time I start with a new company, or I go to a company, like when I went to Cambridge, I stopped working on my personal projects so that I could work on their stuff and not have any conflict of interest. Once I left, once I was there for 4 years, once I came back here, then I'm like, okay, I can start working on this again. But in the same thing when I was at 6 Foot in Houston, I didn't work on my personal stuff when I was at 6 Foot in Houston. I only worked on stuff for that company. NDAs are part of it. There's also just a bunch of other stuff. The old ways work, though. Old and new doesn't matter. Yeah, at the end of the day, old or new doesn't matter. It makes more sense to learn as much as you can. Don't understand why people want to shit on how people do things if it works. I don't know why either they do that. We're talking about humans, and there's a lot of ego involved in times. And I'm just like, I just go, okay, I'll be over here doing it my way, and then we'll see how it goes. We got ads coming up here in 2 minutes or 1 minute. Let's see. Makes much more sense to me to learn from people. Yeah, learn from everybody you can. It doesn't matter who it is. Learn. Go out and learn about things. And take what you've learned from them and make it better. They're going to save you. The more you learn from people that have already had to do the job, the more time you're going to save when you go and do the job. Doctors need to attend seminars to make they're on top of every new medical study and field. That's being said, there's someone that has been in the field has forgotten more about it than someone who's just learning the new way. That's true. Do I understand it right that the industry does this kind of stuff because they want your full attention and ideas towards their products, and not that you use an idea for another product? All of the above. I do for. It's all of the above. Everything, technically, depending on how your contract's written, everything you think up, whether you're at work or at home, technically can be argued belongs to the company that's paying you. And a lot of contracts are written that way. So you have to be very careful about what you work on, about taking your work home, about any of that kind of stuff, because it can be argued then that anything on your computer can belong to the company. And you don't want to get in those kind of situations, especially if it's a company that you've left and there's some argument involved. So yes, when a company hires you, they're hiring you to do your best work for them. And you have to keep that in mind. And some companies will 100% follow you on Facebook, do all that stuff to see if anything that you're talking about out there is from your work, or if any ideas that you're sharing are from there, or if there's any ideas that you had there that you're bringing into their workplace, because they can be liable if those ideas are from somewhere else. So you have to be careful, and you have to be honest with it. And it's better just to say, okay, the way I used to do this is this, and it's silly, but it actually works. It's a psychological game that I used to play with myself. That's not what I meant, but going forward, when I got home from work, I used to have a name tag, and it was on my neck all the time. And when I got home from work, I would take that off and put it on the coat hook by the front door. the second I took that off, everything I did had nothing to do with work. That's where I basically left work with that name tag. When I put it back on in the morning, then I would go back into my working for Blizzard or working for 6foot or Jagex state. But it was very important to keep a separation there. Very important, both for my mental health as well as for just keeping out of the scope of the. When I mean scope, I mean rifle scope of the legal departments and things like that, because you don't want to get involved in any of that stuff. I did very early when I first graduated from school. I had a mishap with that and paid dearly for it, and then was able to regroup from it and move on and become a better employee. So, yeah, that's a good point. Mr. Seiko says, HR cares about you not suing the company, and they will use everything you say against you if they feel that the company is in danger. These are wise advice things. I appreciate them. You're very welcome. Yeah, always remember, HR works for the company, and protecting the company, they can fix problems that you bring to them. However, they will weigh it against the danger or threat to the company first before the danger and the threat to you. Mental separation makes sense. I do something similar. Work-life balance matters. Yes, it does. I didn't understand that when I was first working for Blizzard, because I worked constantly. When I say constantly, I was doing 16 and 19-hour days. And that was fine for then. But as I got older, I realized that I needed to separate that out and do more things. And now I'm watching Thor do the same thing, where he does his 18-hour days and things like that. And that's probably not the best thing in the world to do, but that being said, what set this all off is keep your personal projects private. Never take them to work or put them on a work computer. Never think, oh, well, I have a half hour today. I'm not doing anything. I'll just work on my project while I'm at work. Don't do that. Because anything on the computers at work, 100% belongs to the company. That is the law. So don't ever take something from home and put it on your computer because you think you'll have time to work on it. Especially if it's something of your own personal ideas and stuff like that. Do not take them to work. Yeah, he's working towards a goal, and that's fine. He's doing a good job. But yeah, do not take things to work unless you want work to own them. Like a perfect example is I wanted to learn how to write websites, like a blog website, and I went and did a tutorial online, which I actually put up in our learning section on Discord. I did the tutorial. I built a website, and then I realized that I wanted the same kind of thing for my team at work so that they would have a place to go and do things, and put stuff up. So I took a version of what I was working on and put it on a hard drive, brought it into work, put it on the work computer, but kept those two versions separate. My home version was still my home version. It was something I was working on, my personal stuff. My work one was I went and wrote it at work, did all the stuff for 100% about work, nothing else. And my personal one was all about personal stuff, but I never interacted them between each other once the work one was put in place. I have an issue working from home. It's so hard to separate work from personal. Yes, it is. But I do this by having separate user profiles on my computer for work and personal stuff. I also turn on different combinations of lights when working compared to sitting in at my desk and personal stuff. So to have an atmosphere different between, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. But by the same token, Whenever these lights are on, I know I should be on the stream. Bring your own computer for personal stuff. Yes, bring your own computer, but know this. If you attach it to their network, technically, if they pull everything off of your computer, they have a right to. And you have to have very special permissions sometimes to connect to their networks. So, yes, your company may be spying on you. But Mr. Seiko, I like the idea of changing that. But my question is for you is, are you doing all that work on one computer, which is your home computer, or does your company provide you with a work computer? Because if you're working from home, they should be providing you with a work computer. If you're doing both on your personal computer or both on a company computer, that's going to become a mess because they can still say that stuff on that computer belongs to them. Is there proprietary information? Yeah. But Bookmage, yes. Bring your own computer, but know that they have a right to search that computer anytime, even if you don't know they're doing it. It's my personal advice. They don't provide computers. Okay, well, just be careful, because they can come in and take everything, depending on what country and what laws are in your country. In the U.S., they can. In California, they can come and take it all because they can say that their work stuff is on it, and they can decide what is theirs and what is not because you use your personal computer, and it's their IP, it's their intellectual property. Yeah, sure. Pioneer Frank. I find that one hard to believe. As someone whose father worked there, I wouldn't trust them anywhere. But okay, to be fair, they are most definitely spying on you. And so is your government. So is every social media. And so is, yeah. And most of the information they don't even really have to spy on you for. Most people give all the information away in their social media stuff. So I know you're being sarcastic. It's good. My daddy was with them for 35 years. So I know, I get it. And they're fun to make fun of, even though they're spying on you all the time. It all works is done online through their web portals. Okay, well then they have a system set up. That's good. Tinfoil hats do not work. You're correct. They actually amplify your brain signals so that they can read them easier. They help channel your brain waves in such a way that they can read them easier. Okay, back to here. Back to what we were talking about. Got on a tangent there. Sorry, guys. Okay. In all honesty, I think that we're ready for Monday, and I think we're doing pretty good. I will do as many of the tutorials as I can this weekend to try and get just a base set up. I do have a character. I can't even move them yet, but what we'll do is I'll figure out how to I'll do the tutorials on how to make things in game, and like not make things, but how to lay out maps. And what we'll probably do on Monday is start to lay out the maps of the forest and the village, and then we'll do the forest and the village first because that's where the majority of our levels 1 through 4 will probably do, or 0 through 4 will probably be done. So that is where we will go with that. Let me turn that back off. Let me see what's written here. I'm also working from home since 2020, but how our company is handling it is that every employee has its own BDE environment, and all the IP can leave that machine. Oh, that's cool. So they have a setup to where you can you save it to their OneDrive, for lack of a better way to put it. Everything that you work on for them is saved to their OneDrive, and then they so it never actually hits your hard drives. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that I'm assuming they would have to come up with that since COVID and everybody having to work from home. Amazon has stopped working from home as of January 2nd. Oh, really? Oh. Yeah, I know there's a lot of changes that are going to come up soon. I'm waiting to see how it all kind of pans out because some of it looks really, really interesting. Some of it doesn't look promising at all and very intrusive, but we will see. You know, it's unfortunate, but we have to live under the rules we're given, and that is not always a good thing. Okay, let me check here real quick on my other notes. Villagers. We have the blacksmith, wise men, skilled blacksmith. Yep. Kind villagers. Yes, we have them on there. They're right there, right? Yeah, villagers. Yeah, kind villagers. Honest trader. Then we have evil uncle who's in the mine. We have corrupt officials. We have a mayor or village elder. We have bandits, villagers who are afraid of the uncle. Yes, villagers who are not interested in helping at all. Yep, got them there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So things that he the goal is that he discovers that his uncle was involved in his grandfather's disappearance. Um, he encounters allies on his journey that will help. Find some hidden treasures here and there. That would be good to help build his team. Discover of the ancestors. We have that. Find out. Yeah, there's a whole thing about whether his grandfather was helpless or if something else happened. Encounter some supernatural elements or magic stuff. Because we'll be adding that later. That's a whole new layer that we want to add on there, and I think that the ancestors can help with that and teach our character how to deal with it. So here's something that I forgot about. And I was thinking about this last night. We do not have a code name for this. Here's what a lot of companies do is they come up with a code name for projects. So they have a name to call it while they're still thinking up what the final name is. So you guys have all seen this. You've seen what we've been doing here. So make a suggestion on what should the code name of this be? So I would use, and it has to be something that doesn't give away what the game is yet. When we come up with the final name for the game, then it'll be that, because we can call this Project Karate Kid. Fast and Furious. This is the game about family. Okay. Also, hi. How you doing? Doing well. It's got to be something dumb. It can be something dumb, without a doubt. Call it Project Kid. Karate Kid's 2 Ralph Macchio. So Fast and Furious is 2 Denzel. Or yeah, not just no. 1,000 tires. Right now, let's see. Line 16. Kid in the Boga. Tractor tires are really expensive. Yeah, they can. Tractor tires will light you up. Kid Booga. Oh, that's a. Let's do this. Let's go. Sorry, it's off the screen. Kid Booga. Yeah, because it's just so that we have something to call it. Right now, I like the idea of Kid Booga. Karate Kid's not going to work. Sorry, guys. Project Karate Kid. Yeah, because when I was kicking around some of these ideas before, if we do this in like an old fashioned Asian type village type thing, then we could. I was thinking of the name. Karate Joe. I thought that would be kind of cool. That made me laugh. And yes, sometimes it is about making me laugh, in my opinion. But it's kind of like a working title. We can do it that. But it also depends completely on if we actually do it in an Asian world or not. We haven't even made that decision yet. Project Jujitsu Child. Iron Wolf Saga. Bruce Leafy. Bruce Leroy. Karate Guardian. So you guys are way going down the Asian world thing. What if it's not? What if it's not in the Asian world? Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of elements that would probably work very, very well in the Asian world, but Frostborn, Burger Fry Master. Ads will be coming in 2 minutes. Okay. Can't wait. God, I think I screwed something up and ads are just coming too soon now. Too soon and too many. Project Zoo Kid. There are a lot of animal themed powers. Yes, there are. But those powers may not stay named the same thing. I mean, we haven't even talked about weather, does it? Do we have seasons? Would there be a winter? That's the and that's perfect to the codename since it doesn't follow the game, right? Sometimes, yes. Fury Foo. Let's take that off. Write some of these down. Home Alone, Lost in the Mines. Funny. EGF. You gonna work on PGF today? I don't know. What is that? Yggdrasil? Project Ovo. Ovo is grandpa in. Project Freya. Is that like starring Kelsey Grammer? Project Freya? We're going to be throwing in ads here. Project Snow Tree Cocoa. God, I'm making that way too big. There. Okay, ads are finished. Okay, some of the ideas that came up. Yggdrasil, which is World Tree in the Norse mythology. Freya, which is another one, which is like a shield or protector. Shield Maiden, for the first Shield Maiden is what Freya is. There's Project Grandfather, which is the PGF. No what? Sparta. What are you saying no to? I have no reference. You're not attached to anything there. Freya is the goddess of the earth and soul. She's not a shield maiden. Astrid is the first shield maiden. Is that why they called the lab assistant in Fringe Astra? Astrid? We can put them both up there. Astrid. Do this thing. Let's go here. It says the name Freya comes from the Old Norse word Freyja, which means noble lady and is the female name that is derived from the name of the Norse goddess of love and fertility. So Freyja is also spelled Freyja. Okay. Astrid. Astrid. Astrid is Scandinavian origin and is derived from the Norse word Aras and Frior. Means God. As means God, and Freyor means beauty or fair. Astrid comes from the part of beautiful God. Divinity and beauty. Astrid is a modern form of the name Astroyor and has been used by Scandinavian families for centuries. Popular name among Scandinavian nobility and has appeared in various documents and literature. Astrid is still a favored name in Scandinavia. Okay, then they list a whole bunch of different Astrids that came from all over the place. Doesn't say anything about it her being a goddess of earth and no, Freya is the goddess of earth. Doesn't say anything about shields. Not seeing it. Currently leads. Okay. Astrid is the daughter of Brunhild, the current leader of the Valkyries, and therefore heir to her legacy. Astrid takes pride in her destiny and lives for it, and cannot wait to serve Odin one day, and might and fight in his name, as well as choosing his and her jaw. Sorry, I can't pronounce these words. She is beautiful and beloved by the gods, is basically what her name means in the Norse. Viking Princess Astra. Huh. I don't see anything about a shield bearer for Astrid. But I see that there's many different. So there's a German one, there's a Viking one, there's a mythical creature, and then there's the goddess, gift of the gods, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Was a person that was a shield maiden to Legolas, Logaritha. Astrid and Logaritha are characters in the History Channel's show Lost Vikings, who have a complex relationship that includes training, love, and betrayal. So is that based on just the TV show? Or is it based on true mythology? Because I know the TV show gets away from the mythology of it all sometimes for dramatic purposes. So please help me on that. Is it just from the Viking show that's important, or is it true Viking lore? Because I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I'd rather us be correct because I think it's important to be correct, but it's interesting to see. And I don't want to cause a huge argument, so. Because we all just learning here. But I'd like to be able to do it mostly on true Viking lore and true Viking myth stuff as opposed to a TV show. No, there was an old legend of Astrid, but I think I already found it. She's one of Brunhilde's champions, yes. The first name of the first shogun in if you want to go down that road. Minamoto. Yeah, because that's another thing in Magan brings it up is it's also which version of that god or goddess is the one that we should be looking at. But because every country, every culture, they may use the same word or the same name, but the actual meaning of it all and who is there and what they did and what made them gods may be different. Or if they are gods or not, or if they are just a shield bearer. In one culture they could be the end all be all living god. come to kill everybody and bring happiness to those that believe. And another one, it could be, oh, that person just carried a shield. You know. Yeah, I saw the um, Legertha page, but I also saw that it ties very. They're tying it a lot of stuff in everywhere else to the History Channel's show Vikings, which I liked at first, but then it just got, I don't know, it just seemed to repeat itself a lot, for lack of a better way to put it. They never really seemed to get anywhere in the show. But I have it, and I've watched I think the first season and a half or something like that, and just like I just lost interest in it because nothing ever seemed to happen during it. Okay, so back to our task at hand. Let me think about these for a little while, and we'll see if we can use one. You know, well, we'll see. We'll see where it turns out. During discussion, there is a game I used to play on the Commodore 64 called Valhalla. It talks about much of this. I think I remember that game because I played a lot of stuff on the Commodore 64. And I don't remember any of the storylines. Agatha is mostly around the TV show, less around myth. Historically speaking, not sure if she was a relevant character. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to do some research on that. Halfdan? Halfdan. It's a name carved in a ruin runic in the Haggis. Take a look at that. Let's see what's there. Oops. I opened the wrong window. Halfdan Ragnarsson. Oh, that looks like a character. Oh, was a Viking leader and commander in the great heathen army which invaded the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of England starting in 865. Okay, so the history is Halfdan is one of the 6 famous sons of Ragnar. Valhalla, the character moved various Nordic locations and accomplished. Yeah, I'm trying to think back. That was a long time ago. Yeah, but the name that you gave, which is the Halfdan, is one of the 6 sons of Ragnar. But they're Ragnar, which is what it says here. One of the leaders of the great heathen army which invaded the Anglo-Saxon states in the east in 1865. Invasion, blah blah blah. Nothing. Yeah. So he was the Viking that invaded the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of East Anglia in 865. I actually like that. Halfdan, one of the sons of Ragnar. Oops. Helps if you actually go to the right screen, Joe. You can at least capitalize it. Dude, I played the game, so I know it. A description. Oh, sorry, didn't realize it's a game thing. Mine is carved in history, literally. Interestingly enough, game has Thor Loki. Yeah, of course, if it's a mythology thing, if it's a yeah. In need of a name, in need of no name, Beardjoy. Not that Halfton, not that Halfton is one. This one was a guard in a unit to serve of the East. Not that. Oh, I'm okay. So I'm talking about the wrong Halfton. Okay, but I like this one. Since you have Yggdrasil in there, it's the world tree that spreads its roots through the 10 realms of Odin, so you can leave it as that. And once you're sure about the culture behind the game, will be, you can move to it. Yeah, Yggdrasil, Yggdrasil. Published by Eurosoft International in North America, apparently. Cool. International, I'm sure. I miss mine too. Mine's actually, I still have it. It's just in storage in California. So, yeah, let's see. So if let's do this. Let's take all of these. No, let's take these two here. Not in order of importance, but let's take those down to the bottom here. Come back up here. Get that. I'm kind of leaning towards that, but the rest of them are not in order of importance. In fact, I think this one I'll just take out because it was just the silly one that I wrote. Um, but that might be where we go. Remember that old 64 ad? I love it. My favorite old ad when it comes to games is a Pitfall Harry ad, which was done by Jack Black when he was 9 years old. That one was fun. I think if you look up Jack Black and Pitfall Harry. Oh yeah, there it is. What's funny is he still looks exactly the same to me, except for now he just has a big old beard. I'll put it in the Discord under links. Share a link. I'm gonna share a link. But that is Jack Black doing a Pitfall Harry commercial. Way back in 1982. He was about 9 years old. You might like that. It's funny. I wanted to play it at BlizzCon when he was there, but I was outvoted. But it was a good commercial for its time. It was actually really good. Okay, so where are we at? We are 5 minutes before our next little thing. We took a little bit longer on that than I expected. But right now, we'll think about this over the weekend. Maybe we can come up with a different project name on Monday. These are all really good, but they also have to be something that is real easy to say. And I like the idea behind Yggdrasil, but I don't. I think I would have to stop and think about saying it most of the time. So it has to be something that's good. Yeah. So yeah. So in share a link on the in the fun things. I put the link to Jack Black's TV commercial for Pitfall Harry. Yeah. We could do that. We could just call it World Tree. Um, what we can do, with this is that up here, just so that I remember it on Monday. But yeah, we're gonna start on Monday to start building stuff out and see how it goes. But I need to do some tutorials. There's at least the base tutorials. I'm gonna kind of. It's gonna take me a while to go through all of the learning to learn how to use Game Maker Studio. So we will definitely. It will definitely be a learning curve there because I've never used it before.